think, when we watched Premier League years back, I think it'll be Liverpool smashing them 7-0 at Anfield.
I think Haaland, first and foremost, they'll be talking about that for years to come because it's an insane achievement what he's doing. But you will also talk about the season where Arsenal bottled it.
They're off on the World Cup, and a huge win. Felt very Manchester United as well, like a young teenager winning the game in the last minute. And then Cristiano Ronaldo just decided to throw a grenade into Old Trafford.
What an absolute...
A grenade,
Yeah.
What's happening, everyone, and welcome to 888 Sport. Today on the playlist, we're going to be talking about the iconic moments of the season. So in 5 years' time, in a decade's time, when you look back on this season, what will it be remembered for? The moments I would love for you to rank are Arsenal bottling the league, Cristiano Ronaldo's Piers Morgan interview, Tottenham sacking their interim manager, Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0, Chelsea, and the season that will be confined to the ash heap of history, and Erling Haaland making some people look rather foolish and breaking all sorts of records. Okay, from a brilliant season, actually, isn't it? You know when you list them like that,
Yeah, it's dramatic, isn't it?
it's been
really is.
absolutely. Okay, spin 3, 2, 1. Haaland, Liverpool. I've gone for Arsenal.
You're on the same wavelength. One bit, definitely.
Let me see yours.
The Spurs thing, I just don't think anyone's going to...
No.
I think they'll remember Conte's mental breakdown.
I had to double check what
I
you went.
don't
but
think,
do
I
remember
don't
that,
think
but
they'll
not
even
Steve.
remember his name.
Well, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
It's forever ingrained
Yeah, I
in
think
my brain.
10 years from now, no one's going to care.
Then why would anyone care about Chelsea?
Because Chelsea spent 600 million.
It's
absolutely mental.
Fair point.
I also think people still talk about, we've had a bit of a case study of this before. People still talk about that season when Chelsea finished 10th before. It's still a bit of a thing. It's still quite current in people's minds that Chelsea finished 10th, got that result against Tottenham, bounced back the following season and won the league. I think Chelsea having a disastrous season does resonate.
Story,
does
it? I mean,
resonate.
£600 million, a sale to Todd Bowley, a guy no one
So
never
much.
heard of.
Graham Potter,
Then
Frank Lampard
signing
coming in.
more
Tuchel.
players than
You
your
forget
squad.
Tuchel.
Yeah, Tuchel at the start of the season.
Potter, Frank Lampard.
It's been a really long
Three
season.
managers,
Easy
600 million,
Really
and
long.
Todd Bowley speaking to media about how games should be played out. What did he say about Real Madrid?
Todd said that we're going to win 3-0. He predicted 3-0 in the Bernabeu. We hadn't scored 3 goals for 10 games.
Never even heard of the bird about 12 months
We
ago.
were going to score more in the Bernabeu than we had scored in the previous 8 games
I'm pretty
combined.
sure you had 1 month where you scored 1 goal, and that was your goal of the season, best goal.
Yeah.
Conor
Gallagher.
Worst
Chelsea.
goal.
Conor Gallagher's
Yeah.
deflected.
That was your 1
Yeah.
goal.
That's
I
enough.
don't think you can write that off. I mean, what other club do you know that sacks an interim?
No, it's
I just don't think anyone
For an
remember
interim.
compared to 7-0.
it's just not big compared to
To
the
the monsters on this list. Yeah.
It's just Spurs
Have you seen
being
the
Spurs,
state of?
you know,
Have you seen the state of Tottenham?
It's
They
big
are in
for
an ultimate
That's
demise right
sort of
now.
normal.
You will
That's the
remember
point.
this.
It's Spurs being Spurs. Oh yeah,
Oh
cool.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is Spurs being Spurs, but it was an almighty breakdown that they've had. And
It won't be iconic though, because the breakdown this season sadly belongs to us. If this season's remembered for a breakdown, it's Chelsea.
And even I would say Ronaldo's interview was a breakdown of sorts as well, and that's bigger than
Chelsea have had a breakdown.
Chelsea are a breakdown.
Yeah.
But I've gone for the Arsenal flop top.
I think
my number 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's.
I think, when we watched Premier League years back, I think it'll be Liverpool smashing them 7-0 at Anfield. Our arch rivals.
When you watch Premier League,
coming
when you watch
us
Premier League,
7-0.
mate, it will be Haaland.
Yeah,
I agree.
Haaland has
Yeah.
redefined goal scoring
Yeah.
in this country. He's
When you watch,
redefined-
I've got him second.
If you're basing it on that,
I'm
very
basing it on
specific,
that. That's what I'm basing it on. You know those things in Premier League years.
What I think this
I'm
is,
done on
do
that.
you know what, in terms of football fans' consciousness, the thing that football fans will remember, the thing that football fans will bring up.
It's Haaland.
Arsenal, I think it's Arsenal.
I agree.
Haaland.
No, it's
Off the back-
Haaland.
It's Haaland.
In 10 years' time, people talk about Haaland's records as
50
opposed to
plus
Arsenal.
goals.
I
fans'
think.
second season.
I think
Second-
both. I think Haaland first and foremost. They'll be talking about that for
Yeah.
years to come because it's an insane achievement what he's doing. But you will also talk about the season where Arsenal bottled it because they still talk about the fact that Spurs came third in a 2-horse race and they were never top of the league. So for Arsenal, who were top of the league,
I guess it depends.
it's something
what
that's always going
Arsenal
to be
do.
remembered.
It depends what Arsenal do going forward. 'Cause
Yeah.
if Arsenal just have a few more seasons where they're around that second, third, or even challenging for first or whatever, I think they'll just be seen as another season that Arsenal were there. I think right now it feels very visceral.
But it could be another thing where, last year they bottled top 4.
Yeah.
This year they bottled the league. It could become like this epidemic.
But they're
that
getting
sweep-
closer, aren't they?
They're still bottling it, just on a more extreme level.
I wonder if, because I think if you asked around the world, people would still accept, even before they finish second this season, that Arsenal were a pretty big club still, you know. I wonder in 10 years' time it'll be seen as much of a shock when the emotion's taken away from it, at Arsenal finishing,
It is crazy how Arsenal are probably going to end the season
on there,
86 points or whatever it is, and we're saying they're bottling it.
Well, they have.
Well, I mean, I guess I would argue
Liverpool have ended the season on 97 points and still bottled it.
We didn't bottle nothing.
Well, you did because you didn't win the league.
We didn't bottle it.
I've got to defend Liverpool.
Bottle it.
Listen to the rattling.
Spurs fans saying that I couldn't take it.
You're incredible.
We're on the cobbles immediately.
But then how can you say that Arsenal haven't?
No, I don't think they bottled it.
I think they reached the limit of their ability and experience.
Man City to catch them have had to win something like 12 games in a row or something.
I just think the
12
narrative is so
ridiculous.
different. I think the narrative is so different around Arsenal.
It's funny because you've got a Haaland record and Arsenal bottling it. I think the number one explains number two, almost to an extent. You know, like the quality and like it's like Haaland is such a freak that he's redefined.
But that's not what happened.
That isn't what happened.
Southampton and West Ham. Southampton and West Ham.
Southampton and West Ham happened. It wasn't Man City.
You're not going to win the league because of yes, Haaland is a part of it, but also for the fact that Arsenal have given it to you. They've handed it to you.
Well, one second. You act like they've handed it to them. Like Man City have somehow scraped draws and maybe lost a couple.
They wouldn't have caught them if Arsenal beat
West Ham.
Southampton.
The way I see bottling it is, would you have predicted Arsenal first at the start of the season? I don't think even
Southampton
close.
are relegated.
I think we would have said top four at best,
But expectations change.
Yeah, they do. But I still don't think it means that. I think they are exactly where they should be.
They were 10 points clear at one point. They were 8 points clear.
No. They were 8 points clear with Man City having a game in hand, having to go to the Etihad. Context. It was never 8 points. It was never 8 points. And there was a game in hand. It was game in hand.
That is 8 points.
It was a game in hand, so it could have been 5. It really, really and truly
This narrative
was 5.
is absolutely.
It's not 8.
It could have been 11
outrageous.
then. Win that game, it's 11. Wait, if you're
to us.
saying it's 5, I'm saying it's 11.
Why?
Win the game. This is like when those two people on Twitter argued about how old you are.
Yeah.
It's 8 points until it's 11, all right?
Sorry, the narrative is ridiculous. You have to call it as it is. They were in charge, in the lead, in their hands, and they've blown it. Sorry.
Haaland making history is this season, isn't it?
It is.
Haaland making history is the what we will look back on. This is the year it happened. This is when the Alan Shearer, Andy Cole thing changed. This is when we saw a redefinition of goal.
You know what's crazy about this? I remember when Salah came and got 44 goals the first season, and it felt like he was scoring a hat-trick every week. And I remember thinking, this is incredible. Yeah, 44. I thought this is just, he's godlike, he's Messi. Yeah. And Haaland's come and said, 1 second, hold the beer. And he's done this. Yes. And some people were saying he's not worth it, and he's not going to do it, and all those things, right? Yeah?
Who would say that?
Have we all got Liverpool 7-0 second?
I didn't put them on my list.
I got third, to be honest, but only after Todd.
I'd have to move. I'm happy to
move
that.
Probably, yeah.
I think Liverpool 7-0. Like the Cop are going to sing about that for 100 years.
Easy.
Like your grandchildren's grandchildren sing about
that.
You
just know
could have been 10.
Could
have been 10.
Yeah. No, but even 7, it doesn't matter.
And the thing is, they were coming to us on form.
Right, so I've got to take Spurs out of this.
I don't think Tottenham are on the list, mate. I'm so sorry.
I
just don't think they're relevant enough. I don't think they're relevant enough to the season.
The Piers Morgan thing was mad.
You can't even win a battle for falling apart.
You'll bottle that. Right, I'm not putting the 7-0 above Arsenal bottling it or Haaland. For me, that has to be third.
Yeah, that's what I can fall third as well.
Okay, I can live with
that. I can live with that.
So Arsenal second, Liverpool.
I don't think it's a story of the season.
To be fair, though, I could argue that Ronaldo's interview with Piers Morgan's higher than Liverpool.
I agree with that, actually, as well.
He went in on that interview, shocked the hell out of me.
It was historic because it's never happened before.
And he did an hour and a half sit down.
While he was still at the club as well.
People forget the timing of it. Do you know? Like I will always remember the timing of it. That Alejandro Garnacho had scored a winner against Fulham, and they're off on the World Cup, and a huge win. Felt very Manchester United as well. Like a young teenager winning the game in the last minute. And then Cristiano Ronaldo just decided to throw a grenade into Old Trafford.
What an absolute...
A grenade. Sitting there with Piers Morgan saying some terrible things.
And understand the build-up as well. Wasn't it Tottenham that he walked away when he was supposed to come? Yeah, just decided I'm not even coming on. Don't even look at me to come on. Yeah.
The stick I got online for saying he's not a leader. He's not a leader. He never has been. He's leader of his own ego, and that's it, Ronaldo. Good player, though, admittedly,
It is
again, referring back to Premier League years, that's going to be on the Premier League year. That's going to be one of those ones.
That's going to be
right there. Yeah.
I don't think it's bigger than the actual title race, though.
No, it should be third.
Above Liverpool. Above Liverpool 7-0.
Yeah.
Which meant which is a lot, but you're right. In context, none of us are winning the league. it was a game where
I don't think that Piers Morgan's interview, as big as I think it is, it's definitely on the list, and it is historic. It's never happened before. I think footballing moments will always be bigger. Like this is a press junket. I don't think a press junket
with the most famous footballer in the world.
Yeah,
pouring a grenades plural actually on the club.
No, I definitely.
I think it would mean more if United
football
flopped afterwards or whatever. But I think ultimately everyone's just like, go.
It's not bigger than Arsenal. It's not bigger than Arsenal. It's not bigger than Chelsea. Like what happened with Chelsea was weekly on the pitch.
I've got it fifth, and I think that's the right place.
I've got Ronaldo fifth.
I think it's bigger than Chelsea.
I think that is bigger than Chelsea.
Chelsea was,
but he destroyed
£600 million. Like I don't think
Interview.
I reckon no one's thought about that Ronaldo thing since this video.
And also, it wasn't just. He was their icon. Like he was an icon of United.
Can I ask how many times across this? You know when obviously you're working in football. How often do you talk about the demise of Chelsea this season?
Most weeks.
Yeah, most minutes.
But that's because it's a weekly occurrence.
And Piers Morgan.
It's a historic thing. So if you're saying about 10 years' time, when we look back and think about this season,
I think we'll go Ronaldo.
I would say I'm more likely to remember off the top of my head the Ronaldo thing.
They could dress it up as the end of Ronaldo's legacy was so tarnished.
Yes.
I can see how they could.
So hang on a minute. So Haaland's number one, definitely.
Arsenal bottling.
Liverpool 7-0 number two.
No,
I've got Chelsea second, but
Arsenal bottling.
Absolutely second, without a doubt.
Got them 4, but I can go for it.
You need to let me have some joy out of this because you're taking Spurs away from me.
So we've got Liverpool. What we got?
I've put
Ronaldo
Haaland third.
It goes Haaland.
I've got Liverpool third, personally. I think that's...
It goes Haaland, Arsenal. That's what we're in agreement on.
And now the debate is Ronaldo or Liverpool.
I think Ronaldo.
To be fair, 7-0 thrashing of your two biggest teams in English football history.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I don't care.
Well,
it makes
Spurs,
nothing. It makes no difference to me.
No, but you can still care it. I don't think this is tribal. Like this is just one of those.
It's a moment.
It's just one of those moments in football that will live
agree,
forever.
but the framing of a giant smashing a giant only kind of carries weight if both of them are at the best. And I feel like to me it was like they've both Liverpool were in a silly period. Awful. United have been in it for years. It was like silly clubs doing silly things at the moment.
So it goes like this currently: Haaland, Arsenal, Ronaldo, Liverpool.
I've got it 2 places below and arguing against it.
Ronaldo.
But I think Ronaldo was definitely more broader.
So Ronaldo, Liverpool, Chelsea then? Just by...
Yeah.
Yeah. Ronaldo, Liverpool 7.
Chelsea 5th. I think Chelsea's surely.
I mean, I had that.
I don't think we can put it higher.
So Chelsea's insignificant season is fairly insignificant in the history of the season, you think, as well?
Well, it always goes down
second
as
Chelsea.
one of the
I thought it was a huge story.
The best banter seasons, but...
I mean, I would have thought, I'm quite happy for this, I would have thought that all of you would have been kind of relishing this a little bit more than you are.
I think because it's not one thing and it's been just a prolonged thing all season. I've just been laughing all season, now I've just stopped laughing.
But the joke has constantly evolved. Think about
like before, like normally I would message him, like a result comes in, I don't even message or tweet
not
anymore.
necessarily the results.
I don't even tweet
it's bigger than football. Yeah. Like it's 4-4-3 formation. It's we qualify for the Champions League every year.
Like Haaland's redefined
that it was
goal
a God-given
scoring.
right.
Yeah, Haaland's redefined competency. Chelsea have redefined incompetency. Yeah. I would say they've been so bad by their own standards.
Think about all of the sacking Tuchel, employing Lampard, employing Potter, employing that bald geezer who I can't even remember. The fact that Raheem Sterling had more managers in 1 week at Chelsea than he had in 7 years at Man City. And also quite how... Like Todd Bowley, a man who'd never worked in European sport before, suddenly made himself sporting director of the club. Now, that's not dissimilar to putting yourself up front. Is that this season's iconic list? So it's the same as Abby's?
Yeah, I can go with that, I reckon.
I think that's the list. Haaland definitely is just...
Yeah. Yeah, Haaland is synonymous with this season. Whenever you think of this season, it's Haaland, isn't it?
It's incredible.
It's Haaland doing a yoga.
I hate him.
Yeah.
Do you know how mad, right?
His hair, when he takes it, I can't stand
that goal, by the way, against Arsenal.
When
his hair was flourished.
Oh, how good did that look?
I was aroused.
Yeah.
I've seen him Friends,
I've taken his hair out. He's over it now.
I didn't know his hair was that perfect.
I was
like L'Oreal.
That's the L'Oreal advert.
I was
right
sat
there
next
for
to
free.
because Scott at the time. Jill Scott at football. I was sat next to her and she was like, I need his hairdresser.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Absolutely.
So it was as if he took his hair out and was like, I'm about to call it now, have a shower. And then he was like, hang on, I haven't actually scored. And he was just like, I'm going to go score.
Thank you so much to everybody for watching this video. We really do appreciate your support, so please do click the subscribe button and let us know your thoughts on our compiled list of glorious moments from this season in the comments below. See you on the next one.
That was fun. Another one in the books. Next week is going to be interesting because we're going to revisit some of the good, the bad, and the ugly from our early season predictions. And this one might feature Mr. Rory Jennings quite a bit.